Hello and welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles, and it's just me for this video because Kneon is busy with something else. But I had to do this video because it's so annoying. There's so many things about this that are annoying that I felt like I had to do it. So today, Disney announced the D23, the Disney Legends nominees. Okay, they do this every year. Every year they do D23. They have Disney Legends, they're honorees that are inducted into this group. And they usually pick people that have like a strong impact on the Walt Disney Company in some way. This year we have a list of people. Some of them I think deserve it. Other ones I'm like, I think that's kind of, But one of them is Bob Iger. Bob Iger, who just now left the company. They're going to make him a Disney legend right off the bat. Meanwhile, Michael Eisner, who got replaced by Bob years ago, still has never been named a Disney legend, and he should have been named a Disney legend before Bob Iger. And we're going to talk about Bob Iger's bullshit while we're at it, because he keeps going around saying he has over 50 years at Disney. No, he doesn't. But he keeps running with that narrative, even though his own bio, when it comes to Disney legend status, proves otherwise. So we're going to talk about that. Before we get into it any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, I'll give you a woohoo. Woohoo! And we're going to talk about this. So, yes, they announced the people that are going to be made Disney legends this year. And I have the list here. We have Chris Berman for TV, like ESPN, and Jerry Bruckheimer did like all the Pirates films. Makes sense. Susan Egan did Belle on Broadway, and then she did Megra in Hercules. Eric Goldberg was the animation for years. Anne Hathaway, she did some stuff. Still like, that one I'm like, Bob Iger, we'll get to that. Kim Irvine, she's one of the people that heads up Imagineering, and her parents were both big people at Disney. Her dad was an animator, and her mom was Leota, who literally her name is Leota Toombs, and she was, Madame Leota from the Haunted Mansion. Dwayne Johnson, is he going to wear the stupid wig? That's what everybody's asking. Is he going to wear the dumb wig? I guess I can see it because he's done a lot of things with Disney. His production company has done a lot of things with Disney, so I kind of guess I can see it. The Jonas Brothers, they were a big deal for Disney Channel, Camp Rock, and they had the different movies, and they were with music and stuff with Disney, so that makes sense. Lin-Manuel Miranda makes sense because he did the music for Encanto and Mary Poppins and some other things, so that makes sense. And Alan Tudyk, because he does film and voice stuff for Disney. Okay, I'll give you that. I think the most deserving of the bunch, as far as Disney's concerned, I would say probably Bruckheimer, Egan, and Goldberg, and I'd say Egan and Goldberg over everybody. Oh, and Kim Irvine over everyone else. Iger can just sit and spin. I'm not happy, and neither is the internet. That's the thing. People keep pointing out they are not happy about this. Like, very few people are like, yeah, Bob Iger deserves it. Most people are like, you just left. And I'm like, is this part of the deal? I'm going to leave, but I'm going to leave and you're going to make me a legend? It's like, dude, let's talk about what you've done to the Walt Disney Company. How about all your damn acquisitions that you then just ran into the ground? You bought Pixar. Pixar's been sucking at the box office unless it's a sequel. Okay. And then when you had a sequel with Lightyear, you guys pushed that stupid, let's make it, we don't going to get rid of Tim Allen because he's problematic and push agenda shit. And then you have had that over and over again. Your stuff's not done so well. He was the one that was behind the stupid Lightning Lane. And that was him. Him and Chapek, that was them. That was their brain fart. The prices of the parks are out of control and unreasonable. That would be him. He bought Star Wars. He bought, Lucasfilm. He bought Willow, and he bought Indiana Jones. We all know where that stuff's ended up. Star Wars is pretty much toast at this point. I'm hoping maybe Mandalorian Grogu back. Hopefully Starfighter will, because, we got Ryan Gosling coming in for that, and he's doing pretty well with, Project Hail Mary and stuff. He's pretty popular. And then he had, he did Marvel, and we all know Marvel, after the plan that came with Marvel was gone. We know what happened to that. Again, oversaturated the market. He was the one that had decided he was going to go buy Fox for $70-some billion. And now, while some of that benefited them because they ended up with Hulu and some other things, overall, he overspent massively and caused the company a bunch of problems, especially since right after that was the pandemic. Now you got through it, but the stock is not great. You went from being really, really good a few years ago to really bad. When you were afraid there was going to be a proxy battle, you used Disney assets and Disney resources to make cartoon videos that you repurposed to talk about why Disney's the bestest and everybody else are terrible. I mean, dude, you're kind of a craphead. And then we know you tanked Chapek. I mean, everybody's come out and said that. But at least you had your damn shower, right? You've given most of the Disney a golden shower, but now you think you should be a Disney honoree for Disney Legends. Meanwhile, Michael Eisner got gone for Bob Iger, and Michael Eisner has done a lot for Walt Disney Company. Here, I just pulled this up from Google. This is stuff. Michael Eisner, he was the one who did the Disney Renaissance with animation. You know, all the stuff they're cashing in on now, their brand, their IP, as he calls it over there, Iger called it all the time. That was under Michael Eisner. Like, animation was kind of... He came in like the 90s and he did a whole bunch of stuff to it. He revitalized animation. He did do all the the DVD sequels or VHS sequels, which are kind of lame. But he did a whole bunch of stuff. He purchased ABC, where Bob Iger came from. He purchased ESPN. He did a shit ton of global expansion for the theme parks that did really well until 9/11 hit. And that's when like they were working on the Pop Century Resort and they cut it down in half and only finished half of it and things like that because of what happened with 9/11. But they were like going through all this stuff. They did, he did MGM Studios, which is now Hollywood Studios. He did Disney's Animal Kingdom. He did Euro Disney, which is Disneyland Paris. He did California Adventure, which they did redo later. Tokyo Disney Sea, Hong Kong Disneyland. That was all under Michael Eisner. Hey, guess who started Disney Cruise Line? Not Bob Iger. Michael Eisner. Yeah, see, everybody forgets that. He was the one that partnered with Pixar and all this other stuff that Bob Iger took that money and went and bought, but he didn't find Pixar. He didn't make the partnership with Pixar. That was all Michael Eisner. And Michael Eisner got ousted, and then Bob Iger got brought in. All right, Bob Iger was a weatherman at ABC. And then he moved on to other stuff up the chain. But Bob Iger likes to talk about his 50 plus years at Disney. He even gave himself the 50-year award for working at Disney 50 years. Except, dude didn't work at Disney 50 years. He worked at ABC for 22 of those years. In fact, Bob Iger started working at ABC in 1974. He gave himself the 50-year award in 2024, but he worked there at ABC as a supervisor and then sports, and then eventually became president of the network, and then he's CEO of company. But they didn't buy ABC until like 20 years later. Like it was like 1996 or something like that. 1995 is when ABC got bought. So 23 of the years he's claiming he was at Disney for 50 years he wasn't even working for Disney. They didn't even own ABC. So that's not even true. Like this what annoys me. So you go out to Disney Legends and here's, all the people that are going to be Disney Legends. Let's go out to Bob's here. I love this one. He's been there 50 years, guys. But when you read his write-up, they're talking about he is known for many accomplishments, mostly spending money and blowing it like crazy and then buying things and running it into the ground. But perhaps he should be most celebrated for his commitment to quality, a respect for the innovation, and eye for the future, and most of all, love for all things Disney. I think he wrote this about himself. I love this. A symbol of his love for all things Disney was his vintage 1933 Mickey Mouse Inner Scroll watch. That is the most Iger thing ever. Some kind of piece of something that he spent money on. He bought it at an antique shop in New York on the day he learned that Disney was buying ABC in 1995. There was a watch in the window, and I said, now that I'm a Disney cast member, in 1995, not 1974, by your own admission, Bob. By your own admission. He thought he'd buy it. I've always had tremendous respect for the Walt Disney Company. It's excellent management, mostly himself. He goes on about his assets and all this, and he's one of the world's most consequential business leaders. He'll tell you himself. He's built on Disney's rich legacy of unforgettable storytelling with the acquisitions. Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, Fox, and he opened the Shanghai Disney Resort. And then he had a number of record-setting films, including all the Marvel shit that was already in play before he bought it. Disney's Frozen. Okay, I'll give him Frozen, honestly. Zootopia, Pixar, Lilo and Stitch, the new live-action version, not the original one. Inside Out 2, a sequel, and Avatar Fire and Ash, because the last one didn't do great, so he isn't taking credit for that one. You know, this is it. He's this Mr. I'm Disney, but by his own write up. When I decided in 95, when I now was a cast member, then why the fuck did you tell everybody you worked there for over 50 years, Bob? Why is every time they mention you, like, there were 50 years at Disney company? Not true. Actually, I think of Bob Iger, I think of arrogance. I think of, with his comments like, we just slap Star Wars on it and they'll all show up. Or the way he treated George Lucas and what he promised him and then didn't do. The way he's treated like fans and the way he's raised prices to the place that's outpriced pretty much everyone. And any way he could get, more market share, more revenue for the investors. And that's all he cares about. He's creatively bankrupt. All he does is buy things that other people had, like the Borg, but misappropriate them. You did a couple theme parks, but you were there for years, but it wasn't because you were some great leader. But you could sit there and act like this. Meanwhile, you get named a Disney legend, and Michael Eisner, who did do stuff and actually gave you the money to go buy all the shit, right? He doesn't even get named a Disney legend. And people aren't happy about it. Like, I went down here, I have different tweets here. Some legits here, but Iger, Miranda, and Dwayne are scraping the bottom of the barrel. It's embarrassing. Long overdue for Tudyk and Bruckheimer. Michael Eisner continues to wait. It's about time Susan and Eric got the status they've been long deserving. That one I've actually put in twice. Here, I like this one. 5 reasons Michael Eisner is more deserving. He saved Disney from actual decline in the 80s. He led Disney during its animation renaissance. He expanded the parks into a global empire. He built the modern Disney business model, home video, consumer products, and synergy. Yes. He delivered sustained organic growth, not just acquisition-driven expansion. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Michael Eisner should have had the legendary status a long fucking time ago. It's actually kind of insulting that he didn't, but then Bob Iger decides to leave again. I hope for real this time, he says. And I think it is going to be for real. I don't think they're going to let him anywhere near it again. But he gets to be named a legend. It seems a little shady to me. And then the other person, I'm not against Iger getting a title, but I think it's absurd he's getting one, especially this quick after his tenure, when Michael Eisner still hasn't received one. I love The Rock. He's one of the best entertainers ever lived, but how on earth is he a Disney legend before Michael Eisner? Michael Eisner also made the corporate head of Disney a pop culture celebrity position again by hosting 2 Disney TV series. The last one achieved what Walt Disney himself achieved. I'm sorry, Bob Iger is becoming a Disney legend before Michael Eisner. We seriously don't say this enough. Screw Bob Iger. There are few people in this world who deserve a Disney Legend award more than Michael Eisner. Yes, he left on bad terms and he made a lot of decisions that many folks don't agree with, but he saved the company and the brand. No one would be getting DL awards without him. True. How about Michael Eisner, who reinvigorated the company and made all that money that Iger used, yes, to buy IPs and studios? Bob Iger being a Disney legend before Michael Eisner is all you need to know about the state of Disney right now. And they go on and on and on X about this. It's absolutely insulting that Bob Iger leaves, and with his departure comes a Disney legend status. The same man who goes around lying, saying that he has 50 years with the Walt Disney Company, when he does not. I'm like, Iger, can you even tell the truth? I mean, seriously. Because you do this all the time. You know, you spin shit, you try to massage it. Heck, even when you had a chance to fix things for Disney when you weren't even there and you could have helped the company, you didn't do it. But then you got brought back in to save everybody. And when you came back, I said, this is not the win everybody's cheering for. This is not good news. I mean, I don't think Chapek was it either. But I'm just like, Iger needed to go a long time ago. And his legacy, he's so obsessed with legacy, is one of overspending and then destroying what you bought. You literally overspent for that glass lamp, and then you promptly smashed it on the ground because you don't know how to do anything other than spend money and act like you're the best thing ever existed. Literally, the man, when he was afraid that if he was no longer CEO, his one worry was that he wouldn't get the best tables at restaurants anymore because he wasn't the CEO. But that's okay, because after he left, he still got those tables because he was still important. I'm like, what a pompous dickbag. I'm sorry, but he is. I cannot stand him, if you can't tell already. And the fact that they made him a legend is absolute dog shit before Michael Eisner. I'm just absolutely floored and furious about it. I mean, even some of the other people, I'm like, why are you making them Disney legends? Most of them make sense in some way, but some of them I'm like, huh? Why is Anne Hathaway? Because she did a couple movies of Disney legend before Michael Eisner. It doesn't make any sense to me. The whole thing is just politics and who kissed Bob Iger's ass, probably. So anyway, there you have it. Sorry to rant. It just really, really, really rubbed me the wrong way. My kids think the term "chat my ass" is hilarious. So for them, it chapped my ass. And I had to come down here and do a video on it. So there you go. Comment. Let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe. And I will talk to you later. Bye.